Hey sports fans, it's been a crazy year of running. From pushing through swarms of flies over 10.5 hours in North Macedonia to a Berlin Marathon PR, running with ninjas in Japan, doing my first stage race with the Oman Desert Marathon, and fast packing the Via degli Dei in Italy, I'm now heading to Nepal for what's bound to be my most challenging adventure yet. I'll check out some sights in Kathmandu, head to one of the most remote corners of the globe I've ever traveled to, and show you what happens when you breathe too much of that high desert air. So let's go. Nepal, a land steeped in story where mountains stretch into the heavens and guardians of the remote, high-altitude desert carve their kingdom into the clouds. I'm here to run the 8-stage Mustang trail race, 170 kilometers with almost 9,000 meters of elevation at high, lung-draining altitude. Protesters are out on the streets, a clash between the Constitution and a return to a crown that was dismantled in 2008 at the end of a decade-long civil war. After a pit stop at the hotel, I head straight for the Momo hut for some, well, momos. I get a variety plate of vegetarian options and pull a Houdini, making them disappear in the blink of an eye. So this is my first time in Kathmandu, and it reminds me a lot of other cities in that region in Southeast Asia, like Hanoi, where you've got just loads of motorbikes going all over the place, taking over the city. As a pedestrian, you kind of feel a little bit like Frogger. You really got to pay attention to where you're going, but you also have to walk with confidence to get across the street, lock eyes with people as they're coming at you, be like, I see you, and make sure you make it to the other side alive and not squooshed. Very important. Suffice it to say, not a sleepy city. Only a small percentage of the city are practicing Buddhists, but it's the second most popular religion in Nepal with a strong cultural presence throughout the country. In Kathmandu, you go to the Buddha Stupa. Believed to have been built way back in the 7th century by a Tibetan king, it's a focal point for meditation and worship. Locals come out after work to walk 3 laps, clockwise, around the stupa in a meditative act of devotion with hopes of accumulating merit. Of course, a little merit before an 8-day stage race never hurt anyone, so I jump in. Just no TikTok dances. The next morning, I meet up with the other runners for a group hike just outside of Kathmandu at Shivapuri National Park. We've just finished the steep climb through the thin air to the Shivapuri peak. So we're having a bit of a rest up here, then I think we're gonna head back down. And that'll be the end of today's trial into the altitude. And considering that this isn't even close to what we'll be getting in Mustang, it's an awakening, let's put it that way. Tomorrow we head out for Mustang, but I've got one more stop to make in Kathmandu. So while I was changing planes in Doha, I got a text from a Swiss guy named Linus who works with Camp 8848. Apparently the race director gave him my number and he wanted to invite me out to the shop in the Tsaile district of Kathmandu to learn more about this brand. Now in case you don't know, the Tsaile district is where a lot of the outdoor brands have shops for people who are kind of buying last minute things before going out on their adventure. I don't love shopping. I get really anxious about the whole thing. You know, you show even mild interest in something and somebody comes over your shoulder and asks if they can help and you're like, oh no, I'm just looking around. But then no matter where you are in the world, they just follow you around and I mean, I don't really need anything. I'm mostly fine, so it just makes me feel very uncomfortable. I'm even getting anxious talking about it, so it's just not my thing. But when I heard from Linus and he was telling me about this brand, how they're Nepali founded, Nepali owned, Nepali operated, fair trade, all that good stuff, I figured, why not head down to the shop in the Tamil district and find out what they're all about. And so that's how I met Prawesh, whose father launched Camp 8848.
My father actually worked for like a lot of European brands when he was starting to manufacture. Slowly he started thinking like, I am a manufacturer from Nepal. He wanted to make something of his own. So what he wanted to do is start up this brand, and he founded this one like completely in 1998. Some of the stores in Tamil. So locally, the problem would be the pricing. So for the hardworking Sherpa people, or as well as other Nepali guides, they cannot afford brands like these. So mainly in our outlets in Nepal, we give it at a best price. But what we really want to do is just buy something made in Nepal, the country of mountains. Just feel different. Just don't wear the same big brand logos every time. Try something different.
So as you can see here, this is the jacket that I got. And the funny thing of it all is that I wasn't planning to get anything. When I packed for this trip, I thought I had everything I needed with me, but in retrospect, I couldn't be happier that this whole serendipitous meeting happened. And I'm not necessarily drawn to hyperbole, but this jacket saved my life, helping me put up with the cold temperatures of the Mustang night throughout the entire trip. So if you want to check them out before heading to Nepal, you can visit camp8848.de and use the code JOE10 to get 10% off your entire order. Alrighty then, let's head to Mustang. After a couple days in Kathmandu, it's time to start making our way to Mustang. That means a short 20-minute flight to Pokhara for our first briefing with race director Richard Ball.
I first came to Nepal over 25 years ago and made a big impression, as it does with many, many people. About 10 years later, I had a chance to make a change in life and ended up in Kathmandu. And I found so many different opportunities to explore and meet new people and try new things that I ended up staying. I think most races started on predefined trails or existing trekking routes, and clearly people thought, this would make a nice place to run. And Mustang is no different. It's an established trekking trail. It's been open since 1992, this area, and it really is a fantastic place to run. People have always been moving from village to village, to trade their goods, to purchase things, and move their animals around. So we're using trails that have been well established for hundreds of years.
After the race briefing, everyone else just kind of scatters around town because they'll take another 20 or so minute flight the next morning to finish up the journey to Jomsom. But because I'm writing about the race, Richard thought it would be a nice idea to send me up with a 6-hour Jeep ride to Jomsom, bouncing around the countryside, seeing how everything changes, and write about it. But first, we make a pit stop to pick up one of my fellow riders, Samjana.
Namaste, my name is Samjana Rai. I am here for running. Basically, I'm a yoga teacher. So Richard, he's the organizer of this race. So he was so kind to let me into this race. In return, I have to teach yoga to the runners. So I feel very lucky, that I got a chance to participate in this race. I did not even know about trail running. I think 6-7 years back, but I saw Meera Rai's YouTube one time, and I realized, okay, there's something called trail running. But I think because I was born, and like I said, I was born in the mountains myself, so I'd like to jump, and I want to go crazy. It's not like straight running, it's boring. For me, I want to just enjoy the uphill and downhill, the trees, the rivers, even the birds chirping. I enjoy all that. I think that's kind of meditation for me, It makes me feel really nice, yeah.
Before hitting the road, Samjana's auntie kindly offers to give me a kata, a ceremonial scarf you usually give someone as a sign of respect, welcoming, or good luck. Considering what lies ahead, I'll happily take all the good kata karma I can get.
She's wishing you all the best.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, namaste. After 6 hours of jostling around the Nepali countryside, we stop for dinner just outside of Jomsom, where Samjana shows me how to eat like a local.
You mix your everything. You mix your rice, you mix your vegetables, even dal if you want, and mix properly. Make 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers your bed for your rice, and push it with your thumb. Don't do your head like this and eat like this. Head down, neutral, and put this. Also put all the fingers in your mouth like this. Look. 3, 2, 1, go. And also you can lick your fingers.
And do you have to say 3, 2, 1, go?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Go.
Alright, so we got the bed.
Let's see if you pass. Mix properly.
Bed.
Mix everything properly.
4.
Good.
4.
Put all your fingers. Yes.
Yeah.
Good boy. Yeah. But you still fail because when you put
Still fail.
Yeah, you still fail because when you put your food inside, rice fell down. So you shouldn't, And this, look how he's eating.
Alright. I'll keep practicing.
Yeah. Oh my God, you failed miserably this time.
Oh, better!
Just try again. Try. We'll make you perfect in the next 10 days. Put all the fingers inside.
Yeah.
Yes, you passed, but you failed. But not miserably, you failed.
You can't say I passed and then I failed.
No, you tried hard. You know what you did at the end? You did everything. You did like this.
I did not tilt.
You did that. You forgot that.
I'm going to put the instant replay up, and I don't think I
that.
tilted my head.
Little bit you did.
Okay.
A little bit, yes. So just try.
All right, here. Well, I'll just do this. And I'll cheat. Let's do that.
No, you failed again because you just put a little bit of rice inside. Like,
Right. One more time.
Push it.
I'm gonna pay attention to see if rice falls when you do it.
Oh, come on. Look. So you mix it well, and you push your fingers down so that it's tight. And oh my God. Like that. Try.
Very easy. It's pushed down.
Yeah, push it down. Yeah.
Alright, pushing. Push it real good as the song goes. More pushing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Come on, try.
There's so much pressure.
No, not too much pressure. Come on.
5 came. Alright. Pushing down.
Yes, good boy.
Here,
yes,
good boy.
Yes, come on. Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Give me a few more days.
You fail, but I'm sure you'll pass soon.
Alright, sports fans, we're getting ready to start what's unofficially being called Stage 0 to hike and acclimatize.
So everyone hopefully is packed with hats, sunblock, water. If you don't have water, water's here. And we're gonna head, you can see our little diagram here. So we're gonna get along here a little bit and then climb up for quite a while. We're gonna meet our photographer, and Ananta here is a great viewpoint up here where the 2 mobile towers are. You see a big tower. And then we're gonna we can jog down here. We're gonna go to the second village called Falyak. And in Falyak there we should be able to get some tea and some noodle soup.
Just finished our hike to the top, and we're waiting for everybody to get up here so we can take a nice group photo. And then we're gonna run down to a village over there and get some noodle soup.
You're gonna stay with us a week.
He's climbed nearly 800 meters, and this dog is stuck with us from the village.
Yeah.
The goodest of good boys. Namaste. So we get to the town and we're ready for some noodle soup, and there wasn't any. Later I found out that apparently the first person who walked in was asked by the owner, would you like some noodle soup? And that person said no. And somehow in the language barrier of it all, that was translated as nobody in this group wants noodle soup. So yeah, basically we soup Nazi'd ourselves in Nepal. But we still get some tea and biscuits before continuing the trek to the official start of the race in Kagbeni. Richard later explains that these bridges have been sent across Mustang to help cross canyons like these, saving loads in travel time for locals in the process. In Kagbeni, we huddle around the dining area to scarf down a carb-licious lunch of pasta and potatoes. At one point we got word that some of the local kids could use a new soccer ball. Theirs was a little beat up, so some of us scrounged together some rupees and headed to the store. It's all a bit anticlimactic because we can't find a pump, so the kids make use of the old one for a quick game. So I decided to just watch from the sidelines because the last thing I want to do is twist my ankle before starting a 100-mile journey through the Nepalese mountains, because I am, after all, prone to falls. It's a later morning start for the first stage, so I pop out by the nearby river where some Hindu pilgrims are having a puja, a ceremonial act of worship. Then, it's back to the hotel for a quick breakfast before starting the shuffle over to the starting line just around the corner from Konchok, a Buddhist temple that dates back to the 15th century.
Who are you?
We are underway here at the Mustang Trail Race. After doing a lap around some prayer wheels, running on some road for a bit, then we're gonna have some climbing. So about 3 kilometers in, the road disappears into a kind of jeep track, very similar to what I drove on between Pokhara and Jomsom. And I think we're on this for a bit. And honestly, I don't even mind that it's not like more single track trail. I've never run through such a barren landscape before. It's really fascinating. In Michel Peysel's 1968 memoir, Mustang, A Lost Tibetan Kingdom, the author explains that locals saw such lifeless landscapes as a sign of unhappiness because beauty correlates with happiness. But for my money, I'm in paradise. Perhaps owing to the stark juxtaposition with my day-to-day life in Berlin or the pine tree forest I usually run in. But to me, this isolation is inherently beautiful, and we're only going deeper into Mustang.
Let me get snot out of my nose.
It's not that hard, Dev.
So my name is Nikhil. I grew up in India. After I finished my college, I moved to the US, spent a few years there, and then I spent 10 years in Europe. Sometime last year, I felt I hadn't really traveled much in Asia, and then I got the opportunity to move to Singapore and base myself in the region. Sometime last year, I went to Chiang Mai, and I did a run there with a guide for a couple of days. and I really enjoyed this idea of doing, just having your clothes on your back, just carrying what you need, and the simple life.
After cheering in some of the runners and hikers, the late afternoon slips into evening, and I'm quickly lost for words to describe just how stunning and unique this village is, like so many I would come to see in Mustang. The wood piled up on the rooftops, I learn, is both practical and a sign of wealth. In such a barren landscape, timber is gold, my friend. Back inside, dinner is underway and the night wraps up with a little surprise for one of my fellow runners. Here we go, day number 2.
Could have just stayed at our hotel.
All right, stage 2 underway. Lots of climbing, feeling that altitude. Landscape feels like it was once just a giant mountain. It was exploded, and all these stones and pebbles scattered about. Heading down now a pretty steep descent to a cave where we're going to be able to time in and time out so we can have a look around.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, swell.
Where are you guys coming from?
From the U.S.
Oh, I'm from Canada.
Oh, really?
I live there.
You live there? Nice.
Yeah. So how long you been here?
In Nepal? About 5 days.
Oh, 5 days.
Yeah.
So is your first time?
It is my first time.
So how you feel?
Tired now.
Tired from now?
Right now I'm
You have
tired.
to go more up.
I know, I'm...
Okay.
So at this check-in, check-out point, there's a little bit of a climb to go see this cave. But everybody who's ahead of me has said it's worth it. So here I go. This is the Chuuksang Cave Temple, a place of pilgrimage believed to have been a meditation retreat in the 8th century for Guru Rinpoche, a legendary figure credited with playing a central role in bringing Buddhism to Tibet. Alright, left the checkpoint a little bit ago. Just crossed 12 kilometers. Feels like I've been out here all day. Still got about 800 meters to climb. And higher altitude. I couldn't have gotten a job of reviewing different kinds of pies That would have been a good job. The higher we climb, the more the thinning air can impact your body. Fortunately, we've got a doctor following us around for the race.
Namaste, I'm Dr. Akash Sarpali. I studied my medicine in Marsganj Medical Campus and I'm an executive board member of Mountain Medicine Society of Nepal. So when you come in the Mustang or on a high altitude trail race, it becomes quite tricky, you know. When you come here and run for a long day and just dehydrate yourself, you are more prone to gain altitude illnesses. It's quite tricky to notice it just because, you know, you are running whole day and you feel headache. That's the most common thing that you see when you have altitude illnesses. So that's called high altitude headache. You can feel more fatigue than the usual, even if you rest for some time and still you don't find yourself energetic or active after the rest. That can be also a sign. GI upset, you know, you can feel like I'm not having a good appetite, I'm feeling like nauseated and I don't get a good sleep. Yeah, these are the things that you can get when you have high altitude illnesses.
Gastrointestinal issues are indeed common when reaching higher altitudes. You might feel, let's say, fuller in this general region. Richard's advice to avoid discomfort: fart freely and frequently. So while taking in the enchanting atmosphere of Mustang village life here in Ghami, I follow, in a sense, the doctor's orders. That must mean it's the start to a new day. Lining up at the start line, we split into two groups.
We're going to go through here. We're going to start off slowly as a little group here. And get to the bottom and turn right. And that will start on a new course. And you can follow me, so please stay behind me because I'll take you to the first ribbon.
Hubris puts me in the second group with the Nepalis, so I can see them just long enough to remember why I have no business running with them.
Ready, everybody ready?
Yep.
Yes. Ready to go. Good, good, good.
3, 2, 1.
See you later. Oh, I'm sure it won't be long. Alright, good start to stage 3. Injuries feeling like they're still there, but getting through it anyway. Doing the best I can. Views have been absolutely stupendous. I don't think I appreciated yesterday as much as everybody else did. I think I was too focused on myself, injuries, and fouling markers that I kept missing. But so far it's been absolutely stupendous. It really feels like stepping back in time, as cliche as that sounds. Did Richard say something about gradually steep, or was it the second one? at some point.
I didn't expect this.
I don't think this is the point. I want to go up more. After that monastery checkpoint, we started up the final climb of the day. That's going to get us to our highest point of elevation in the base, quite a bit over 4,000 meters. I don't know if you can see out there, but those ants marching are heading up to what I believe has got to be the highest point of the race, of the stage and of the race, I believe. And then one last schlep for this stage, and I think it's going to be pretty much all downhill to the finish line. This dog following us up here like it's just another day in the week. Alright, going down. Entering Lo Manthang, the walled city, the kingdom of Lo.
Technical difficulties preclude me from filming the finish, but rest assured, I made it. And more importantly, so did the doggy.
Nice job, doggy! Good job.
With stage 3 behind us, we now settle into Lo Manthang for a full rest day. There's little rest on rest day, with Samjana guiding us through an hour-long yoga session first thing in the morning. Runners come from all over the world to run through the thin air and windswept canyons of Mustang. These include Americans Megan and Jason Giroux, who came first and foremost for the experience.
My name's Jason, I'm 40 years old and we're coming from Maine.
And my name is Megan, I am 34 years old and we're married.
So what brought us to Nepal was we went to Nepal 5 or 6 years ago. We did the Everest Base Camp trek and we were new to ultra running. We've done numerous halves and marathons, but when we went to Everest, we saw the North Face Ultra Marathon. And we both looked at each other and said, maybe someday we will be that cool. We, developed our ultra game. We've done hundreds, 100Ks, 50Ks.
And then we did research.
We love to travel. So we said, hey, what better way to look for an ultra marathon in Nepal? And then we discovered Mustang a couple of years ago and here we are.
And the pictures of the race actually sold it for us because it's so beautiful.
Yep.
And this is our first staged race, so a challenge all on its own, but a lot harder than I think we expected, but it's been fun, so.
Canadian Scott Alm and Fraser McMillan entered the race together and have been friends since they were kids.
I think it wasn't only until maybe 2 or 3 years ago we kind of reconnected again, met up snowboarding. When I went home to visit, and then we kind of just...
Well, I'd like to jump in there too. There was a defining moment. I lost my parents in Nepal and stuff like that, and Scotty was like the most supportive friend for me there at that point.
And I think that was, to bring up his losing his parents, I think it was one of the catalysts for me leaving Canada as well at the time, is sitting on it. But we're having a barbecue at your place, and his dad, we were having a chat, and Bruce was telling us, if you're not happy, doing what you're doing, just life's too short. And then, it was only 2 or 3 weeks after that where he lost his parents, and that was kind of the things like, got to take things into my own hand, and I left Canada and then been out ever since, and I think that's what really kept me and Fraser really connected as well, and also brings us back to full circle to Nepal.
Yeah, so we're in Nepal too because it was just the 10th anniversary of me losing my parents. So I was going to be here anyways, going to do that trip. And then Scott and I, we've been connecting, and we connect a lot over fitness and just travel, and just we see the world in very similar ways too. And he's just like, hey, you should get into trail running because that's what he was doing. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. And he came up, he researched this trip. So that's why we're here, because of Scott. And I like the idea of this is all about to build a frame to go further in life, right? Because this isn't easy stuff, and it will carry you further in life.
Most of the foreigners here came for reasons other than winning. It's the Nepalis with their eyes on the podium, hoping for a career in professional trail running to follow in the footsteps of local legend Mira Rai. Lokendra, Ang, and Praveen are among the young Nepalis invited by Richard to compete in the Mustang trail race.
And so in a period of a week or so, they get 7 chances to race, and that means a lot of practice, a lot of things learned, and hopefully they'll be better for it.
After a slow morning and helping myself to some Himalayan brew, we head out for a group jaunt around the former royal capital. The Kingdom of Lo was an autonomous kingdom until 2008 when Nepal became a republic. Tourism to the region was only allowed starting in 1992. Today, you need a $500 permit to get in. Walking around, I strangely feel like I'm in the Tibet of my imagination. But perhaps that's no coincidence. A guide later tells me that the region of Upper Mustang is more Tibetan than Tibet is these days. Regardless, Lo Manthang is hands down the most unique city or town I've ever visited. I mean, look at this place. Man, what a privilege. Back at the hotel, Samjana shows me how to make my new favorite sports drink.
So this is called sattu in Nepali. So this is made of roasted corn, roasted soybean, and roasted chickpeas. So this is a protein powder, organic protein powder made by my mom.
Yesterday you told me you made it, not your mom. Explain yourself.
No. No, I told you my mom made it.
No.
Oh my God.
You very much told me.
No.
Very much told me that I made this.
No.
You made me tell everybody sitting around us that you made it.
No, that is a lie. My mom made it. Next question.
How do you actually turn that into a drink?
Okay, so there are many ways. So what we do back home is that we, put this into cup of milk, organic milk. But over here, since we don't have milk, we are using tea. So this is a hot cup of tea. So we are gonna put. It depends how you want your protein shake to be. So I think this is enough. This will give us enough consistency. Yeah. So mix it. So this is the jaggery powder I use. This is optional. You can make it with jaggery powder or without, or you can also use sugar. Because I don't eat sugar, I'm using jaggery powder according to your taste. And today I want you to try it with the clarified butter that I got from my home, and this is made by my mom too at home. So
but this is clarified butter, it's ghee.
Clarified butter, yes. This is made with organic milk. Okay, so I'll just put this much. Okay, now it looks good, I think. Or maybe a little more thicker here.
Well, and for the purposes, because we're here in Mustang, running around, trail running, would you say this could also be a good thing to have? I don't know about before, because it's so much protein. Usually you don't want protein before running, or like a lot of it. Could it be like a good recovery drink maybe after you run around for 26 kilometers and climbing above 4,000 meters?
Yes, that's right. I mean, see, the thing is, it has a lot of protein, but also carbs that we need, So I think my mom put more corn and less soybean and chickpeas. So you can just have it before and after both, So it will keep you feeling, you won't be like hungry, you know, you'll be like good, you'll be happy, and then come back and drink it again and, you know, repair your muscles. Here.
It's looking a little bit more chunky today.
Okay, sorry about that.
The taste just is good.
Good?
Yeah, same roasted corn smell and taste.
Yeah, and I think the clarified butter made it a little more tastier, or do you feel?
I don't really get the ghee.
No?
But I trust you that it's in there.
It is.
I'm so full of sattu, I barely have room for dinner. But of course I hang around, not just for the dinner, but to catch the nightly rounds of our traveling chef. Every night without fail, the chef would come out sometime between dinner and dessert and do a lap around the dining room to absolute thunderous applause. I'm talking Game 7 of the finals kind of applause. The home team is winning, just about to win the championship. That's what this chef got while he was doing laps. And he would, wave like a foreign dignitary, the occasional head nod, be like, yes, you're welcome, you're welcome. Honestly, one of my favorite memories from the trip. Another morning, another run. There's no rush today because we're doing a loop around the Old Kingdom and spending another night here at the Hotel Mandala.
Instagram on a stick. Basically. Let's go.
Stage 4 is underway, and boy, am I sucking fumes. Boy, sorry to get that dry air feeling in the throat. So I'm not getting as much air. At least it feels like I'm not getting as much air as per usual. But, as I always say in these things, I'm not here to win it. That is not in the cards for me. So instead I can enjoy this. And it does not suck.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Oh, sucking fumes. Oh, how about y'all?
I'm doing great. Good day.
I got the same cough. 43. Honey butt. Hey, sports fans.
Hey! Hey, rock star.
Oi, not feeling like a rock star.
Not feeling like it. You look strong.
Appearances can be deceiving. What's up there again? It's just a view? It's just a view? Not a... Oh, okay. Alright, well, we're going down on this checkpoint. Climbing up over here.
We have another check-in, check-out point, this time for a view that I'm only now appreciating for the first time because I don't love heights and my eyes were firmly planted on the ground.
Oh, you got a big stage.
Yeah, I know, so I'll look at the view later.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow, though, it is a view.
Hey, everybody, let's do a very cheesy woo. Ready? It's already recording, so woo! Alright, now I'm going down. Here he comes, Lakendra, to save the day. How you doing, Lakendra?
Yeah, doing good, but we are lost.
You're lost?
Yeah.
smile for the camera. Alright, I need a sign. Okay, bye. Alright, about 10K to go in this stage. At one of the checkpoints, was able to catch up with people. And for better or worse, sounds like I'm not the only one who's struggling to breathe on this stage. Perhaps a combination of the altitude, dust in the air from this trail, and shit, I don't even remember what the other thing was. Oh yeah, probably a combination of the altitude, dry air, and dust that we're breathing from this trail. So I'm just gonna go as I can, hiking pretty much the whole time at this point, because even running flat, running at all is very taxing, even on the downhill. So just go as we can. 10K to go. What I'm really enjoying about the race thus far is that Nepal is popular for things like climbing Everest, and never appealed to me personally because, you know, once you get to the top, you know, it's just a snowy view. I would rather have a physically challenging experience where I'm interacting with the culture a bit more. I was never one to be like, I gotta conquer that mountain. I'd rather kind of run around the mountain, you know, see what there's to see, the villages, the people, and of course the nature. And this Mustang trail race is nailing that on all accounts. You're, you know, horses out drinking water from the streams, you got the goats, the cows, you got the villages we're running through, you see how people live, but you're still, you know, getting out into the nature, challenging yourself.
Somehow, someway, I mustered the energy to run it back into the hotel in Lo Manthang. But all that foreshadowing phlegm is about to bear its festering fruit. Stage 5. I'm tired and my cough has gotten worse. But with just 15 kilometers and 700 meters of elevation, it's the easiest day of the race, at least on paper. I convince myself I can push through. We start off with a slow march to the center of town for the start. I can already tell it's gonna be a long day.
Let's go!
Oh, watch the hole! Bye-bye, see you later.
So pretty much right from the start, I know something's wrong. I'm having a hard time getting a deep breath. I can barely run on the flats, the descents, nothing. And of course, there's a climb pretty early on. The Nepalis are just flying up it. There's nothing I can do to move up with any kind of speed. Everybody, absolutely everybody's just passing me. By the time I finally get to the top, I just can't imagine doing this all day.
Well, sports fans, as you can hear in my voice, today is not my day. Started feeling like I had something going on with my lungs yesterday, especially the second half. Well, really, I first felt it at the hotel 2 days ago during the rest day, but I was able to run for a bit and keep up with folks yesterday. And when I couldn't run very well, be on the flats or really a period, I thought maybe that was a bad sign. But when I spoke with other people, they said they had a hard time as well. Probably a mixture of, like I said before, the altitude, dust, and all that fun stuff. But today I woke up foolishly optimistic, and just as soon as I started, I wouldn't say as soon as I started, but really as soon as we got to the first climb, I was like, this is going to take me forever. So calling it quits. I'm really bummed. because besides hating DNFing, I wanted to see as much of this as possible, but them's the breaks. Richard talked about before at one of the briefings about how, Tibetan Buddhism is a big thing here, and, we shouldn't be attached to things too much, like metal. He actually specifically said a metal. So I guess actually when he said that, I was like, that can't be a good sign. But oh well. So I'm heading back down now the trail to the road and getting picked up. That was the plan anyways. When I started walking back, I ran into Sandy and Grant. Sandy had already been planning to walk the entire race and be dead last by design. That was basically how she planned to do her trip. And Grant was running originally, but then he kind of developed what sounded like a similar cough, and he decided to go back and hike the rest of it with Sandy as well. I told them that I was done for the day, but there was some friendly light badgering, and they encouraged me to just join them for the rest of the day. We'll go slow, we'll get there together, it's only 15 kilometers. Mentally, I liked the idea of finishing at least 5 of the 8 stages if this was indeed going to be my last day, so I figured, what's the worst that can happen? Sports fans, I kid you not that, thanks to my defunct lungs, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. So naturally I didn't film very much from this stage, wasn't really in the mood for it. But towards the end, while I was climbing these series of stone steps, Richard said he could see me from afar, and he said that it looked like I was climbing Mount Everest, the way I was shuffling a little bit, and then stopping and taking long breaks and shuffling a little bit more. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, that was my Everest. I didn't last long past the finish line before crashing in bed.
Well, here I am. Finished the stage, thanks entirely to Grant and Sandy. Because of whatever that was going on in my chest, this was the hardest thing I've ever done, I think. Everybody else said it was challenging in their own right, but and the fact that you can't breathe makes it a bit harder. So we'll see what this means for the rest of the race, but for now I need to sleep.
So once I was able to stay conscious long enough to get a proper examination, the doctor told me I had pneumonia. He gave me some antibiotics, and my race was over.
Well, since the doctor said I can't run, I'm going to be getting a Jeep ride for at least the next stage. Probably the rest.
Stuck in the Jeep, I try to look on the bright side. I can still take in the same incredible landscapes, like the cliffs outside of Yara where legend says Guru Rinpoche clashed with a demon and scattered its entrails and blood across the landscape. You know, as one does in victory. I'm still a fraction of myself, but the drugs work wonders and I'm able to cheer on the finishers as they roll on in to Tangye. The next day, I do it all again. I watch as the runners work their way out of Tangye and start the trek out to Chuuksang. idea starts to take root. Maybe I can just walk the final stage. At the end of the day, I asked the doctor to check out my lungs one last time. They're not perfect, far from, but I get the green light to take a hike.
Joe, good morning. How are you feeling today? Ready to rock and roll?
I didn't anticipate this being like a back and forth. I will neither rock nor hopefully I will not roll, because if I roll that means I didn't make it up to the top.
No, don't make me laugh. You know I'm so loud, right? So you missed one stage and
two stages.
Two stages, yes. So are you?
Yeah.
So what do you want to say about that?
Wow, what a mensch. What?
What do you want to say about that? You missed two stages. I feel so sad.
Oh, do you?
Actually, very happy for you.
So I handed you the camera to film what she's doing, and then you put it on. Thank you so much.
I hate these things where everybody has to do the same thing. It's important because otherwise nothing happens, but I like it when people just say, I'm going to do my own thing. It's great. So if everyone wants to go in different directions, I'd love to see it. Anyway, right. This is the last stage. I hope I hope you enjoy it. I know you won't.
No.
They're number 1 and number 2 after a meter. There we go.
I have to restrain myself from slipping into even a modest jog from the start. Fortunately, the terrain doesn't give me much choice early on, launching into some absurd gradients as steep as 36%. Essentially, a wall.
Just moments ago began our 8-kilometer, 1,000 meter plus schlep up the mountain. It is a pole day.
So having a buff over my face proves to be an absolute game changer. Richard did suggest it at some point during stage 5. Basically, the moisture softens the sting from the harsh, dry air of Mustang, not to mention it blocks some of the dust that's blowing around in the wind from the trail.
I'm actually feeling okay to run a little bit on the descent. We have a little over 4 kilometers to go on this big climb, but we've been taking the Jeep tracks to make it a bit more gradual. Alright, we're doing it, sports fans. Got just 163 meters of elevation to go, over 900 meters. Then should just be pretty much downhill from there. So continue pole because we've made it this far.
After reaching the summit, the end of the day's massive climb, I noticed the pink trail ribbons running down the mountainside. The urge to run is overpowering. When will I be in a place like this again? I must, dear viewers, frolic.
I know it's easier for me to say now that I had my 2 days where I didn't start, but just thinking about what Richard said in our chat about, what's the point of coming here and running as fast as you can through it, this landscape.
We've come to a very special place, fantastic landscapes, absolutely amazing landscapes. And so the idea of trying to run as fast as possible through them is a bit crazy, it really is. And really the winner is the person that can drift along the trails and really soak up all of the scenery. For most people, the slower the better.
I guess it is a shame if all you remember, what you remember most from running here in this area that until pretty recently was forbidden territory for foreigners, if what you remember most is just the person in front of you or behind you instead of what's around you, then yeah, that's kind of a shame. Starting to come across a lot of hikers and backpackers, and a pair of them just said that I'm almost there, they keep going. So I heeded their advice, and I'm gonna keep going. Less than 500 meters to go. We're done.
Other 30 some odd runners who already finished are upstairs at the restaurant of the Hotel Bob Marley, where local legend says the reggae rock star once dined. I finally treat myself to a beer and catch up with Ang and Prabin. Ang won the women's race nearly 4 hours ahead of the next woman. Prabin, meanwhile, came from behind to beat Lakendra by just 5 minutes across 8 days of running. Not bad for a guy who was invited to join literally the day before we left Kathmandu.
मलाई चाहिँ एकदमै गाह्रो लाग्यो किनभने अब यो एल्टिट्युडमा अलिक ट्रेनिङ पनि थिएन किनभने अब म रोड खेल्ने 5-10 किलोमिटरको मात्र मेरो ट्रेनिङ थियो तर एकदमै गाह्रो हुँदै रहेछ सोचेको भन्दा धेरै नै गाह्रो लाग्यो
The race officially ends here in Muktinath, arguably one of the most important pilgrimage sites for Hindus. Believers will come towards the end of their lives in hopes Lord Vishnu will liberate them from the cycle of birth and death. Others, with some years to go, will run underneath the temple's 108 spouts, channeling water from the Kali Gandalf River to wash away their sins. It's all a chaotic scene unlike anything I've witnessed before. You've got people bathing, running through water, and burning offerings. Then, right next door, complete and utter silence surrounds the 35-foot tall Buddha statue. What a place. But more than anything, what a race.
It's highs and lows, as you know, throughout the day in trail running. You feel like giving up, but that's not an option, and so you keep on going, and then all of a sudden you find this moment of bliss. Brings you into the moment of like, I can't believe I'm here doing this.
This is just a good mental test. I mean, this is a staged race, so you'd think that each day should be, oh, easy, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna eat and run. This really tests the mental for me.
And I think for me, I always tell myself that I am not a trail runner or I'm not as good as I am. So this is kind of nice. It's like a good, it's kind of reassuring to say that I actually can do this. And I'm about to get emotional, so. And
we're all regular people here. None of us are pros. We all work at a job of some sort, and this is our hobby. And we choose to be here.
What makes this experience really unique is the people as well. I think we have a really good bunch of people, and it's not just about the running and the race, though that is a huge part of it, but it's also about the conversations and all the people that you meet.
It just brings so many like-minded people together, you know, doing the things that they love in such a unique part of the world where like look where we are. It's who comes here. Yeah. And especially to run this type of distance, being able to do it again with Fraze, you know, Fraze, I think his longest run was maybe a half marathon. So to see him do this, and it's amazing.
I think any travel experience gives you the opportunity to reflect on your own life. You're seeing something completely different in front of you. Different kinds of people doing different kinds of things in a different way, in a different landscape. If you're able to observe carefully, then maybe it's going to give you a chance to reflect on your own life and maybe make a change if that's what you want.
And as for me, don't worry, I recovered just fine and was able to run in my next race, a 50K ultramarathon in Alsace about a month later. Stay tuned for that video in my 100-mile cycling trip through the Loire Valley.